Okay, so my name is Tiffany Fonseca, and I'm a rising senior, and I spent my summer interning for Coaches Across Continents, which is an organization that teaches sport for social impact. And at first, when I learned about it, I had an idea what it was, but didn't know exactly. And now that I've worked with them for this entire summer, I can say that it was an absolutely amazing experience, and I had the best time. And I learned a lot. And we spent, we basically did 4 weeks on the ground, and we did a week in Brasilia, a week in Rio, and 2 weeks in São Paulo. And each week we would work with a different local organization. We teach soccer for social impact. So what that means is we have games that we teach to coaches, and we hope that the coaches will use these games to teach their own students, which is more sustainable than just directly working with the students. And we have games that teach social messages that include really various things, from problem solving to gender equity to health and wellness, responsibility, all sorts of different lessons. And so our goal was to engage really the coaches with these games and get them to start dialogue, get them to start talking with each other. And so hopefully they can take away the message and use it with their students. It was one thing for me to kind of learn what Sport for Social Impact was and like apply for this internship that looks really interesting, but it was a completely different thing to actually see the effect that it had. And I was really moved, especially when I saw that the coaches who were teaching were getting it. Like, especially when they came up to me and said, oh, this was a really interesting, gender equity game that you were teaching us. I used to teach a girls team, and I don't really have the girls team anymore because their parents were discouraging the girls from coming to practice to the point where he didn't have a team anymore. And we were able to have this, big long conversation about the importance of getting parents involved and helping to kind of teach people that the cultural norms that are in place aren't always the right ones. We had different conversations about problems within communities, from violence to drugs. We also have games about sexual health, so we teach them about that. And especially with the touchier topics like sexual health and drugs and violence, I think the games are a really good way to approach it, because it makes the topic less scary. Because if you just walk into a community and tell people, hey, we don't know you, but let's talk about sexual health, let's talk about the drug issues in this city, they're kind of gonna probably think you're weird. But if you kind of approach it with this model, this sustainable model, and say, we have this program, and we think if you implement it, we can kind of learn from it and better our community. It was really great, and I got to meet all these people who had done sports at Harvard before me. And we had a great time traveling and seeing different parts of Brazil. I had seen a lot of Rio, but I hadn't seen Brasilia, and I had seen very little of São Paulo. So that was really great. And I definitely saw another part of São Paulo, because when I was in Rio and when I was in São Paulo, I kind of stayed in the city, I kind of stayed in the safe areas. People would tell me, don't go down there, like, don't go into that place, like, it's not safe. And we kind of went into these communities that are neglected for the most part. And going into the outskirts of São Paulo, or teaching community coaches in Rio that come from poorer areas. And I thought that was a good experience, because it showed me what most of Brazil really looks like, and not just what the postcard Brazil really looks like. After studying abroad in Brazil, I was kind of planning on spending my summer at home in Boston working, until I heard about this grant to do an internship in Brazil, which I was really excited about and immediately applied for, because I definitely wanted a reason to come back. And I was really lucky enough to get chosen for this CPIC grant, and I was lucky enough to have the help of Dr. Class to connect me with a really awesome organization. And so I'm really grateful that the two of them were able to work together so perfectly to get me where I am now, because I wouldn't have been here without the funding, and I wouldn't have been here without the help of Dr. Class helping me find an organization that was right for me, and helping me find something that I actually wanted to be doing all summer. So that's kind of how I got here.